What's going on, guys? Plot Armor Cards in the house, and today I'm coming to you with some Egyptian God card duels in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Now, before we get started, I just want to take a quick look at this deck. If you'd seen my last video, you kind of have an idea of what I'm working with here. I know it's not perfect. I'm missing a lot of extra deck monsters, but it's definitely good enough to make things work. So I'm running 3 copies of Queen's Knight, 2 copies of Jack's Knight, 3 copies of King's Knight, 3 copies of Imperial Bower, 3 copy of Joker's Knight, 3 copy of Slifer the Sky Dragon, 2 copies of Winged Dragon of Ra. We got 2 copies of Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode, 2 copies of Guardian Slime, which this has been okay, but at the same time I feel like it's been meh, so I probably would switch this up for something else as soon as I can get around to figuring out what I should put in there. I'm thinking Ancient Chant, actually, because it allows me to search for Slifer, which is also good in this deck. I'm running 1 copy of Arcana Triumph Joker. Now this card is really good because you can use any of these if you use any of these effects, for example, like Joker straight, you can discard this from your hand and you can still use this effect in the graveyard to special summon it. So the fact that you discard it isn't necessarily a bad thing for this card. I'm running 1 copy of Raigeki. I don't run this in my real life deck, but I was like, screw it, let's try it out. I'm running 2 copies of Unexpected Die. That's just to get out pretty much Queen's Knight. 3 copies of Joker straight. I'm running 2 copies of Mound of the Bound Creator. Now, this card has been pretty clutch, I'm not going to lie, because it stops my God card from... So, it can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Also, every time I destroy a monster on the field, it takes 1,000... my opponent will take 1,000 damage. So, that's pretty good. Next, I like to run 2 copies of... 3 copies of Soul Crossing. This is super dope because I can sacrifice my opponent's monsters. Because I run so many God cards in this deck, it is pretty easy to get them out. But a lot of times this is it's not targeting, and it's just I'm sacrificing my opponent's monsters. So even my opponent's monsters that are like unaffected by effects, I can still sacrifice their monsters and get them out of the way. So that's really good. I like to run 3 copies of Thunderspeed Summon just because it's really easy to get all 3 of the knights on the field, and then on top of that, it's allows me to add a question mark card to my hand. And both of these, all 3 of these, the Slifer, the Winged Dragon of Ra, and the 2 copies of Spear Mode have question mark attack, so I can essentially search any of these that I please. I also run 2 copies of Joker's Wild. That's in case I don't draw any of the cards that I need. It's essentially like a really good searcher. For the extra deck, I'm running 2 copies of Egyptian God Slime. This is really good in combo with Guardian Slime because... if I take any damage, I can special summon the Guardian Slime, and then I can sacrifice the Guardian Slime in order to special summon Egyptian God Slime, and then I can sacrifice the Egyptian God Slime, and that counts as all 3 sacrifices for any of my God cards. So that works really well. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these duels. So this duel was a little bit of a surprise for me as well. So every time I draw Joker straight and I draw Slifer the Sky Dragon, you already know I'm set. But this guy, he played Swords of Revealing Light. I don't think I have a solution for spells and traps in this deck as of yet. So that's one thing I need to make sure that I have in the future. So I'm going to use Joker straight in order to normal summon, special summon Queen's Knight, normal summon King's Knight, which allows me to special summon Jack's Knight. Then I'm going to use my Thunderspeed summon just to add another Slifer for next turn. And then I want to sacrifice in order to summon the Slifer, and then I'm still good to go. I still have a second Slifer in my hand. And then my Joker straight in my graveyard will activate. I always send Jack's Knight to the shuffle back into the deck to add it back to my hand because I only have 2 copies of Jack's Knight, and that's very important that I make sure that I have it. And then this guy, he summons, he plays Millennium Revelation, so that's kind of crazy that he was also using an Egyptian God card deck. So then I draw Jack's Knight, and I'm just like, screw it, can't do anything anyway, just put it into it. 5,000 attack points. Even if he summons a God card, he really can't do anything. So then he's done as well, and now it's my turn. And then I draw this thing. The Winged Dragon of Ra Spear Mode is probably the best, and I'm ending, so his swords are gone. So he cannot, at this point, I don't think he can do anything to me. And to be fair, maybe I'm going a little bit too much with it. But I draw an Arcana Triumphant Joker, which is always good. I attack him directly. I'm only 1,000 off, which isn't too bad. And then he summons his Guardian Slime in attack mode, which I thought my Slifer's effect would activate, but I guess not. Then I just normal summon Imperial Bower, just in case. And then I played myself because he uses Soul Crossing. Had I not played that, I still would have been good to go. Obelisk the Tormentor, he summons, and now he's going to use Monster Reborn on my own Slifer. So now he's going to do 6 grand on me. Or wait a minute, since he attacked with that, I can summon my own Guardian Slime. And because of the God card's effect, it goes immediately back to my own graveyard. And now I can use my Guardian Slime's effect, sacrifice it in order to special summon Egyptian God Slime. And Egyptian God Slime's effect will activate. I can sacrifice it, and it'll count as 3 sacrifices for Winged Dragon of Ra. And then I can just put an end to his obelisk. This is like the most Yugi versus Kaiba thing ever. So let's move on to the next duel, guys. So this next duel is going to be a pretty quick one. I have Joker Straight, I have Mound of the Bound Creator, and I have Slifer the Sky Dragon, and Thunder Speed Summon. I don't even know how I can go wrong in this situation. But he sets 2 and uses Strength and Unity, so it's kind of obvious that he's using either Blue Eyes or Dark Magician deck. Probably Blue Eyes. I'm going to play my field spell, then I'm going to use my Joker Straight to go for the same combo that I always go for, to make sure I get all 3 of the Knights on the field. And all 3 of them are indeed on the field. So now I'm just going to go ahead and attack everything. Because had I summoned Slifer, it would have had less attack than all 3 of them combined. So then I'm going to play Thunder Speed Summon, which is quick play, by the way. So it's a pretty nice way to get this out. So then after my attack, I can attack again with Slifer the Sky Dragon. And now he only has 1,000 left. And then I'm going to use Joker Straight. That allows me to shuffle Jack's Knight back into the deck in order to add Joker Straight to my hand. So now I have 3,000. So if he summons a Blue Eyes, I'm evenly matched with it. However, this is probably a Chaos Max build that he wasn't able to get away with properly. So technically I won in the first turn. Next, I have a Winged Dragon of Ra, a Slifer the Sky Dragon, a Thunder Speed 7, a Mound of the Bound Creator, and Queen's Knight. So this is kind of iffy for me because I can't really do anything except set a Queen's Knight in this situation. Well, yeah, I can play Mound of the Bound Creator, and then I can set. But Mound of the Bound Creator is useful in 2 things, either to protect my God cards or any of my level 10s, or in order to summon my, to, when it's destroyed, to summon a God card. And now this guy's using his combos. He's using Mech Knights, I believe. Mech Knights I've actually had a couple of run-ins with Mech Knights. So then he's going to just attack. I should have not set anything, but I didn't know how many monsters he was going to be able to summon because I didn't know what he had. So had I just taken that, I could have just summoned a Guardian Slime and then gone into a Winged Dragon of Ra right there, or a Slifer the Sky Dragon. I did set Soul Crossing because I expected him to end up summoning like at least 3 monsters on the field so I could sacrifice his monsters, but I was wrong. So he attacks directly, and then I use my Guardian Slime, and he chooses to do nothing else, so he ends. And then I get to draw. I draw Jack's Knight, but that's not relevant anymore because then I can summon Egyptian God Slime. Egyptian God Slime's effect is obvious. Sacrifice it in order to summon a God card, but I normal summon King's Knight. So now this guy's popping off his combos. He's using Shadol's with this, and now I'm going to go ahead and use Soul Crossing because he's going to destroy my card anyway. So I sacrifice his monsters in order to summon my Slifer the Sky Dragon, and then my Mound of the Bound Creator goes to the graveyard, so I was going to be able to search, but he calls it a turn. Now this duel I remember specifically because of this guy's name. This was a pretty interesting duel in my opinion. So he's gonna use his Fang of Critias deck. So he's gonna summon Mirror Force Dragon, and then he's gonna use this thing's effect in order to summon Lilith, Lady of Lament, which I'm assuming he's going to be using to add the virus. Yep. So he does set the virus, and then he calls it a turn. However, I have Mound of the Bound Creator, so I couldn't care less. And then perfectly, I draw Thunder Speed Summon. So I'm going to use Mound of the Bound Creator, then I'm going to use Joker Straight in order to go into my combo, special summon Queens, normal summon Jacks, and that allows me to special summon King's Knight. And then I'm going to summon, play Thunder Speed Summon, and he's going to use Trap Trick. I believe he goes for Mirror Force. Yes, he does. Mirror Force. So that's irrelevant for me because my Mound of the Bound Creator makes it so it's unaffected regardless. So I could not care less. And then I'm going to use Soul Crossing just to get rid of his annoying Mirror Force Dragon. I'm going to leave Jack's Knight on the field because it is the strongest. So I'm going to attack with Slifer and then attack directly with Jack's Knight. I'm surprised he didn't try for a Mirror Force here. Could have at least stopped the Jack's Knight. It was stronger. But I guess he might have a way to destroy my Mound of the Bound. So then obviously Joker Straight's effect will activate in the graveyard. So now Slifer has 2,000. And he just sets another one and calls it a turn. And then I draw a Winged Dragon of Ra, so now Slifer's at 3,000. He's going to use Mirror Force now that Slifer's powered up, but that means nothing to me. He's going to use another Trap Trick as well, which is kind of surprising, because most of his traps are not going to really affect me. Then he's going to set Ring of Destruction, which I haven't seen since, like, what's that? Season 1 or season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh? But still, that was a good card back in the day. It's a great card. So now I'm gonna go ahead and have my turn, and it's his turn now, and so he's gonna use his fusion spell again, and then he's gonna summon this thing, and with the Ring of Destruction, and then he's gonna summon. See, he's smart about it. He summons it in defense mode, and then he uses it to destroy my field spell. So I'm just gonna search into the Slifer. So my Slifer's at 4K, and now it's my turn. Then I draw a Winged Dragon of Ra. This is, I guess, what you would call a brick, but at the same time, I have Joker straight, so I could have summoned all of them and then maybe gotten a God card summon extra out if I wanted to. But I wanted to keep Slifer at a high attack point level, just in case, because you never know what he pulls out, you know? So I just kept it there. And then I drew an Unexpected Die, so this thing has 6,000. Just go ahead and declare an attack, and he doesn't use any of his trap cards, so that's it for me. Next, Duel. So Thunderspeed summon, Arcana Triumph Joker, Slifer the Sky Dragon, and 2 Joker's Knights, which is okay. Whatever I draw next could make or break this hand. And Jack's Knight is not a card you want in your hand, so that kind of breaks it. So I can summon a Joker's Knight, and then I'm just going to call it a turn after attacking this thing. And I was assuming that this person was using a Egyptian, or sorry, not Egyptian God card, but Dark Magician deck, but this guy proves me wrong. Because then he pulls out a Time Lord, and then he's going to go immediately half my life points. So I like Master Duel. I like when people use like unique decks, you know, because this is probably a unique deck that this person invented themselves, which is pretty dope if you think about it. So then I'm going to summon another Joker's Knight, and then I'm going to use Soul Crossing to get rid of his Time Lord, and then I'm going to attack directly, and then he's going to use Wall of Disruption, which is, again, not a card I've seen in a while. This is something I used to use in Duel Links, but I believe when you lose attack points based on that, it's permanent. So Slifer, instead of having 4,000, is just going to have 3,200 now. But that's cool, because he's going to normal summon his monster to try to destroy my Slifer, but that won't work because Slifer's effect will activate. Then he uses Monster Reborn on his Time Lord, which I'm curious on the ruling of, yeah, so Slifer I'm pretty sure can't destroy it anyway. So then he's going to attack my Slifer, and it's going to get halved. And he's going to call it a turn. So I'm at 2,000. This is why I love and hate Time Lords. Personally, I do have a Time Lord deck, but if it's used against me, it pisses me off to the no end. I'm just going to go ahead and call it a turn because I know his Time Lord is going to get shuffled into the deck. So, and I'm tripping because it doesn't. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'm crazy, guys. And then he just sets one and calls it a turn. So then I draw a Queen's Knight. So I'm going to use my Joker's Knight in order to send my King's Knight to the grave in order to special summon itself. I could have summoned Arcana Triumph Joker here because that's King's Knight and then Queen's Knight and Jack's Knight. This counts as Kings, that's Queen, that's Jacks. But Slifer would have had like a minuscule amount of attack points, so that's why I didn't do that. And this person didn't have anything to respond with, so they called it a turn. Well, guys, that was all for my Egyptian God card deck profile, as well as Egyptian God card duels in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Any suggestions you have to improve this deck are much appreciated. Any suggestions you have to improve any of my decks are much appreciated. And oh my goodness, guys, look at the time.
It's time to do